Hello everybody! Today I wanted to do a quick little review of The Housekeeper and the Professor by Yoko Ogawa. This is translated from Japanese by Stephen Snyder, and it is a literary fiction kind of contemporary novel set in Japan in the 1990s. And it is a housekeeper narrating the story of how she came to work for the professor. And the professor is basically a mathematical genius who was injured in the 70s, I believe. He had a brain injury and his short-term memory only lasts 80 minutes now. And that means that his memories are now stuck in the 70s. When the housekeeper comes to his house every day, he does not remember her at all. So every day is a fresh start. They have to introduce themselves all over again. And yet, despite this, despite one of the parties never remembering the other people, the housekeeper and her 11-year-old son develop a relationship and a friendship with the professor. I think a lot of this story is about family, not necessarily the family that you're born into, but the family that you create for yourself, that you choose. The housekeeper is a single unwed mother, and she herself is the daughter of a single unwed mother, and there's a lot of stigma and hardship associated with that. And she's working very hard to provide a better life for her son in a job that's kind of a dead end in a way. And meeting the professor and adapting to his quirks and working around his memory limitations and just learning from him, learning math from him, really opens up her world and also the world of her son. I felt like there was so much genuine caring and affection between them, and that was something I think that the professor also needed. Like, in a way, even though he didn't actually remember them every day, I still felt like in a way he did. Maybe because they developed routines with him, they learned how to work around his memory limitations and how to make that introduction every day easier on him and how to avoid upsetting him and stuff. But it just felt like over the months and over the years, he didn't remember them, but he so quickly fell back into that kind of easy relationship with them. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this is the math. The professor, his entire world is math. He spends most of his time absorbed in math and entering and winning mathematical contests, and if he is upset or if he doesn't understand what's going on, he retreats into math. He's always trying to find the connections between numbers and his environment and stuff, and he will just talk endlessly about it. And I thought it was quite fun that the housekeeper begins the story knowing nothing about math, not caring about it, not understanding why it's important at all. But by the end, after she's learned so much through her interactions with the professor, you can see that she herself is starting to look for the connections between numbers, to look up equations, and to find solace and comfort in math in, I think, a similar way to the professor. I really love that. I really love seeing the evolution of that, and I just in general enjoy math in stories. I usually find it in science fiction novels rather than in literary fiction, but I think it worked wonderfully here. And there are 11 chapters in the book. It's very short, and of course it had to be a prime number, right? So yes, this book really surprised me. I picked it up after I read The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa a couple months ago. That's her newest novel to be published in English, whereas this one came out over a decade ago, I think. And I was a bit disappointed in The Memory Police. It was written very strongly. It has such an interesting premise, but I was very unsatisfied with the lack of explanation and resolution in that book's conclusion, but just purely on the strength of its writing, I wanted to try more by Ogawa, and very happy that I picked up The Housekeeper and the Professor because I thought it was pretty excellent. This was really a beautiful and touching story, and it made me quite emotional in places. Even though I guessed how it would end, I think the message contained within it was very beautiful. Let me know if you have read The Housekeeper and the Professor, or maybe anything else by Yoko Ogawa, because I will certainly seek out more of her novels in the future to try. Thank you so much for watching this quick review. I will talk to you again soon in tomorrow's Vlogmas video, and until then, bye.